Why should I invest my time studying something that no one can see? With everything going on in the world, why would I waste my time focusing on me? I already know that I am human. I have to eat, drink, and sleep to survive. As long as I follow the rules that society has in place, everything will be fine, right? We always hear about knowledge of self, but what does that even mean? What's the point of knowledge of self? By the end of this video, you are going to fully understand the purpose of knowledge of self and how it can help you on your journey to becoming the best version of you. So, grab yourself a cup of tea, stay tuned, and let's talk about it. Hello, Howell family. I am your host, HC. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Tea with HC, where we talk about issues that concern you on your journey to being true to you. In this episode, we're discussing the purpose of self knowledge. There will never be a time when you are someone else than who you are. Despite your desire to be as tall as someone else, as smooth as someone else, or even as clever, the closest you can ever be to that truth is being an imitation. Thus, you would never be giving yourself the opportunity to be great as or greater than the original. Because of this, knowing who you are is a key element to a fulfilled life. Knowledge of self will help you circumvent the illusion that you can ever become someone that you are not, and thus help you become more satisfied with your life from the beginning of your journey until its end. Although today's society seemingly encourages being someone that you are not, it is important to understand that each individual has unique traits and life experiences, amongst many other differences, which makes it impossible for any two people to experience the same life in the same way. Every individual is unique, and no matter how enticing someone else's life might seem or appear to be, the best life that you can ever live is your own. A lack of knowledge of self encourages a life of confusion and vain pursuits because it is the attempt to fit into a box that was never meant for you. For example, let's say you were born a monkey, but you were raised by crocodiles. No matter how much the crocodiles love you and took care of you, and no matter how much you identify with crocodiles, when it is time to do crocodile things, your efforts will always pale in comparison to the efforts of your peers who are actual crocodiles. No matter how much you try to crawl like a crocodile, no matter how great you become of a swimmer, you will never achieve the skill level of the actual crocodile because you are not a crocodile. Going further with the example, as a monkey, you will then have so many skills and great qualities that will remain untapped because of your pursuit in being something that you are not. This will only lead to further confusion and frustration when you encounter actual monkeys thriving by existing in their element. As denoted in the example, a lack of self knowledge encourages an existence where you are never sure of your position in life. You are therefore unlikely to find or follow your purpose, and thus you may never become fulfilled. I'll show you how knowledge of self encourages a better version of you by inspiring peace of mind strengthening relationships, and by boosting your confidence. Hopefully, then I could enjoy some of this warm tea. First, self knowledge gives you peace of mind. Always remember, if it costs you your inner peace, it is too expensive. Because of societal pressures, in addition to desires of fitting in or finding a sense of belonging, we are often persuaded into acting in ways that we don't necessarily identify with. However, because every action has a reaction and every moment has its consequence, the repercussions faced because of these actions may be outcomes that we are not prepared to deal with. For example, let's say you were never a tough guy, but everyone around you believed that you were because of your demeanor. Then, instead of neglecting or denying that misconception, you encouraged it because it gave you attention. You even go as far as pushing others around in order to stay in character and uphold the idea that you were a tough guy. Unfortunately for you, there are actual tough guys who are really who they say they are. And when you finally run into one, your illusion will likely crumble down as you are challenged by the real deal. This inevitability will likely bring you to shame and not only back to not having that attention, but also having a shattered reputation because the attention that you received was never genuinely for who you were, but for someone you were pretending to be. In contrast, by knowing yourself and being yourself, who you are will be the extent of your presentation. Therefore, what you gain or lose will be on your own accord, in accordance to your true being, thus avoiding the stress, confusion, fear, and inner conflict that comes with pretending to be someone that you are not. When you know who you are and you receive love, attention, or praise for who you are, you can be confident in your situation, as opposed to being fearful that someone might be ahead of your game. Knowing yourself gives you the opportunity to relax and enjoy your life as you are, and at the same time, encourages people and situations that do not genuinely identify with who that person is to steer clear away from you. While a lack of knowledge of self makes you easily suggestible and influenced, knowledge of self helps you stand firm on your own 2 feet despite the storm that may be going on around you. Get to know you and give yourself the chance at a life worth living. Second, knowledge of self strengthens relationships. When you know who you are, your thoughts and actions are in line with your true essence. And because like attracts like, you are more likely to recognize when people are being true to themselves, and you know to steer away from those who are not. Knowledge of self thus encourages you to appreciate those that stay true to themselves in your life, because you are aware that there are many that do not. Knowing yourself gives you the opportunity to attract people who are like minded and like hearted. For example, let's say you are in a group who decides that they want to go play hockey. However, you honestly despise winter sports. So, although you appreciate the group's invite, you decide to go home and play games with friends online. This choice was made from a genuine place, and not from a place trying to please others and be someone that you are not. Thus, this choice will be great for the group that will go play hockey because No one wants to be on a team with someone that is only going to complain about the cold and not actually enjoy the sport. Although it would have been great if you did love playing hockey, this decision increases the respect that the group will have for you because you are making your own decisions as opposed to engaging into an activity against your own judgment. This inspires a healthier bond with said group because they know what you are about and you know what they are about, and it will be that much more enjoyed when you consciously decide to go play hockey with them. A person that does not know who they are is likely to make decisions to impress others in hopes of receiving that level of relationship. Unfortunately, though, you would end up uncomfortable in a predicament that you do not like and be faced with the truth of the matter, which is that you cannot pretend forever. As said by reggae icon Bob Marley, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. While a person that does not know themselves is likely to make a decision based on what they believe others would like them to do, a person with knowledge of self makes decisions that reflect their morals, values, and principles in respect of who they are and what they stand for. When you know yourself, you value your time and your presence, and therefore you are likely to make a conscious effort to be with and around people that heighten your strengths and make you better in circumstances that you can also reciprocate that energy. This encourages a great foundation to long lasting, strong relationships. Finally, self knowledge boosts your confidence. When you know who you are not intimidated by anything that anyone claims you to be or wants you to be. Knowledge of self gives you the confidence to just be who you are because it is the certainty that you are enough. In contrast, a lack of knowledge of self encourages a frail conviction that you can get by pretending to be someone that you are not. For example, a person that knows themselves can say that they are going to pull two all nighters studying before the exam instead of studying for the 2 weeks allotted, and will ace the exam because they know their abilities and can rely on their own persistence. In contrast, a person that wants to impress others can say that they will do the same, but then the closer the exam gets, is the more that they will worry and stress because they are not sure of their ability to do the same. Self knowledge helps to exude a natural, unshakable confidence because it is the awareness that no matter how hard anyone tried, and no matter how much effort they put into imitation, there is only one you, and there can never be another. Therefore, no one on this planet at any point in time can offer exactly what you have to offer in the way that you have to make that offering. When you know yourself, you have no need to be concerned about keeping up with the Joneses because you know who you are and you know that you will succeed at your pace. With knowledge of self, your mind is not clouded with anxiety of who is around you and what they will think or say, and you are not confused by the doubts of the moment, because knowledge of self encourages a confident you by helping you get out of your own way. To put it all together, we can now assess that knowledge of self can play a significant role in your life by inspiring peace of mind, strengthening relationships, and by boosting your confidence. We can now clearly denote that not only does self knowledge serve a purpose, but it is also a necessary element to having a fulfilled and successful life. What do you think about knowledge of self? I would love to read your comments as I finish this cup of tea, so please comment below. Like this channel and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. That's it for today's episode of Tea with HC. Hope this helped you appreciate the significance of prevailing through your knowledge of self. I'll see you here next time on Howell Consultations, the how-to to being true to you.